Hey, Kenny. Mitz, can y'all hear me? I have to put something there for Okay, let's see. I got to get set up here a little bit because it's going to be white paper a lot, so it's going to be a little tricky. It's going to be a little tricky with the white. Well, hello there. You going to come up and say hello? All right. Let me tweet real quick, guys. Hi, Blossom Mary from Ontario. Welcome. Now you can't get over there by the cords. You know that. You know you can't get by the cord. Just plop yourself down for a minute. Let me tweet. Let's see. My coffee, my art, and we'll put a pumpkin. Okay. Hey, Debsy. How am I supposed to work now? You know? How am I supposed to work, baby? I know you got mama's papers. Oh. Hi, Terry. Oh, Terry, I gotta hang on. Let me see if I can do this one-handed here. Hang on. Okay. Oh, gotta turn it up. Look, he doesn't even care. Oh my goodness. All right, turn it back down. So how's everybody doing? You're welcome. Hi, Julie. Hey, Jean, are you home? Hi, AJ, Lisa, Judy, Patootie, Pamela. Hi, Gracelyn, Paula Shockley. So okay, so you're heading home. Okay. Hey, crafty grandma. Teresa, I sent you out a little card and I sent you one of my art discs, Teresa. Cheer you up a little. Hey, Lori. Anybody else popping in? Thanks for being here. Jeannie. Oh, thank you for the like. Yeah, y'all hit the like button, the thumbs up. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Hi, Karen Brown. So I'm going to do some couple of things. I'll go ahead and call this. Pacola's not here yet that I see. She may not be here because of the storm. I'm not sure. Hi, Janet. Pacola's down in, the coast. So I don't know if she's going to be here or not because of the hurricane. So y'all keep her and everybody that's along the coast down there in your thoughts and prayers. Hi, Karen. So I'm not sure she'll be here. So yeah. But I'm going to I guess I'll call this one of the Society of Idea Collectors. I'll do it as part of that. And because hi, Eileen. I'm going to use Paula's last show for my inspiration today. I mean, I've done stuff like this before, but we'll call it our Paula Inspiration Society of Idea Collectors. And I don't know, she might have had to go back to work, so she may not be here either, but she can watch the recording. So, plus I had so many people request me to, you want to play with that pen? Okay, here's some more. Request to see me deconstruct these books. So I might go ahead and do that too, to put in a binder. So I might do that today as well. We'll see. We'll see how much time we have. But if anybody just wants a fun, inexpensive way to not have a blank sketchbook, then today's the day for you. So if y'all remember, I don't know how the conversation came up on Twitter or here or something, and Paula was saying to give her a challenge or something. So I said, just draw some 2 or 3 inch squares. You like, yeah. Deconstruction and Society of Idea Collectors. Yippee, fun times ahead. That's a mouthful, Julie. And so she did her squares, and she drew, and I think I either said art supplies or what's on your desk, or I said it didn't really matter. So she did a double page spread of all the art supplies and well, not all of them, but art supplies and tools and things that were on her desk. And she did a double page spread in her sketchbook. And then she did other squares and other little color squares and things like that. So I said, okay, we are going to do a whole book. Now I'm going to have papers all over the room when I do this. But I got stacks of all it is printer paper, hole punched. That's all it is. And so if you have you did good though, Janet. I liked your squares too. A lot of people did the little challenge. It was just a little mini challenge. And so I have done squares, and I'm going to do ovals for faces. And a lot of people do this. I mean, a lot of people sketch on color squares and color ovals for faces. And you see my, quick sketch face book, the 5-second sketchbook face that we did. I showed last week that we used for inspiration. And so, it's not a new thing to do sketches on top of color. But we're going to do a whole book. We're going to make a whole sketchbook. I don't know how much we'll actually get to sketch, but we're going to make the book today. And I'm going to start by using up, because I've got tons of these water, these, what do you call it, markers, Crayola super tip markers, the ones that Oliver's got right here. Oh, that's a pen. Little boss. Oh my gosh. You're just so cute, baby. I just love you. So so we're gonna start with that. And then I might take a break and deconstruct those 2 books for a notebook. Now I'm gonna have to look around for another notebook to put those in, because I don't know if I have an empty notebook. Oh, good, Teresa. Yeah, it's good for kids. I'm telling you. So I did a few just to show you kind of where we're headed. And I splattered some ink on these. Now, you don't have to splatter ink. It just gives you more freedom to know that they're not perfect. So the more you can kind of splatter them, if you, whatever. Now, I love little boxes, with like a pen and ink box. But I thought, no, that's kind of a little hindering. Let me move my camera back just a little. That's a little hindering. Hang on, guys. Let me kind of square this up. There we go. To put boxes around. If you want to do a sketch, like I was thinking pumpkins and fall leaves when I did these, if we have time. Paula did a page of pears. If y'all see Paula, let me know. I don't know if she's going to be here or not, but this show's dedicated to her. If you have an empty notebook, it's still a bag from it's still in a bag. Oh, if you have an empty notebook, it's still in a bag from the store. That's funny, because when I buy something or get something new, I immediately open it up, throw the packaging away, and start using it. Whether it's a color book, an art book, a sketchbook, none of that's precious to me. Well, I'm looking around thinking, well, there's probably something. There's probably something precious in here, but not much. And so, hey, Vicki. Hey, let's see, who else I'm missing. I'm sure I'm missing some people. Jeannie M, Mama 4, Lisa, thanks, Kenny. Anybody else I missed? Thanks, guys. Don't forget, if you want to talk to me, hi, Nick. Make sure and put it in caps. Yeah, I'm a user. I mean, you'd think if you came in here, you'd think I was a hoarder, an organized hoarder, but I am a user. I use all this stuff. And if you really concentrate on everything in my art room, you know, I have floor to ceiling shelves of books, but they're books I made and filled. They're shelves and shelves of, like, here, let me give me an example. Let me take a quick picture of this one. And I've posted pictures of them all before, but let me see here. Let's see if now I took it with the light behind them. I might flash it out. Let's see if I can get a good picture of that. So I don't know how many shelves I have in my room that are. All right, now let me turn the light down so it shows up on camera. So like this one right here by my door. Okay. This one right by my door. And there's like, this is double stacked. There's another whole row behind these. These are all sketchbooks that I've either made or filled. This is all my handmade stuff. Every bit of that. There's not one art book on there. That's all journals and things that I've made. So there's lots of those in my room. So I could say I'm a hoarder, but I'm hoarding my own stuff that I've made. Hi, Mel. Kitty. I'm sure I'm missing some people. Wendy. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so what? And I'm glad the cat went over to the window. And Hupster has to get out in the rain today. He's got an appointment, so he'll probably be leaving here shortly. He's out for a walk right now in the rain and the drizzle. Because we're supposed to have rain today from the hurricane. It hasn't even hit land, and I guess we're getting rain from it. There he is. So, hi, Sharon. So anyway, so I also splattered some ink on them, just to make them less. Now, you don't have to splatter ink on every one. I just did a few just to show you. So these are all done. And then here's where I tested some markers, you know, just to see if they're still working. And what I'm doing, while I'm doing this, I'm also weeding out the markers that don't work. So, or if I'm using them up. And then here's one that I did with leftover ink. So you can do, and I'll probably do some with watercolor, some with ink, some with the some with the marker, you know, just all different things. So now if I do any ink splattering though, that has to kind of sit without stacking, because they'll all, you know, glue together if I try to do that. But just to make some squares like this, so I pulled these out because I had to have a photograph, and one's gone. Here it is. I had to pull some out to make a photo, you know, a thumbnail. What do you call it? It takes a picture when you first come on. So anyway, so then I'll go through and make sure that they're still working, because I have multiple sets of these markers, and I think I'll zoom in one. Let's see. Maybe two. Well, that looks pretty good. So I can do two at a time here. And then this was just where some ink got on there, and I just rubbed it into the paper. So we'll see how it does with the brightness. Hi, Catherine. Hey, Painted Girl. Cindy. I'm sure I'm missing some people. Remember, guys, if you want to talk to me, put it in caps. And because I'm going to call it a Society of Idea Collectors, I think it's episode 41. And like I said, y'all keep Pacola in your thoughts and prayers, because she's down there. I don't know. I don't know that she's in the direct line of the hurricane, but she's down there on the coast. Hi, Melody. Hi, Karen. Did you see where Crayola has brush markers now? Yes, I did see that, Karen. I think it's number 41. So we'll probably pull a couple of names out of the bowl, if we, you know, but as long as I remember. Okay, so what I want to do is just, again, this is all inexpensive, just copy paper that I have hole punched, right? And we're going to try to fill, I pulled this much out, but I probably had 10 times this much. So I have plenty to work with. So what I want to do is first I'll take a pack of markers. So let's just, and they're kind of, some of them are falling out of the rubber band. So I'm re-rubber banding them. This is a blue one that goes over here. I'm trying to go through them so I can get rid of extra ones. And I do have a bag over here. So these are just the ones on my shelves. And these are the ones that no longer work very well. So what I want to do is I want to try to think of a project to do with these caps, the color caps, or something to do with the caps. So I'm just throwing them in a baggie until I get to, I want to go through them all. And Scoobs had sent me all these. I use these when I'm going around the house and I'm sitting somewhere and I just want to have some color. And I use these all the time. And so these are staying in here because they're still all working. I can eventually go through those, but right now I'm just it's going to be a little bit of organizing, a little bit of swatching. So let me put these blue ones over here till I get to the blue. These are kind of pinky peach. I'll put those there. Here's the gray. So I'm just going to swatch. I'm going to swatch and see which ones are not working. If they're working enough, then what I'll do, it's going to be a lot of white paper today. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Graceland. Sunny D. I'm sure I'm missing people. No offense to you. I'm just going to start going here. So I will start and just see which ones work. Okay, so that one's going to work. That will be a good one. If I have doubles, then I'll just put those aside because I just want one of each color. So like this is the same color as that, and that one's working. So we'll put that one aside. I might want to try to use that one up. It's kind of starting to go, so I'm going to try to use that one up. I'm trying to find all the same ones here. Okay, that's a separate pink, and that looks like, I'm not sure if it's the same as that. So I'm just going to try to find, that's the same. The ones that are on their last leg are the ones I really want to use first, like that one. Okay, and then this is the same. No, that's a different one. But I don't really need that. I don't want them too dark because you're going to sketch on top of everything. So you don't you don't want a black marker square unless you're going to plan on using white, because then you can't, you obviously can't see it. Okay, we'll go with that one. That's kind of the dark one. This is the dark. I'm just seeing if they're working. That's the same as that one, so I'll have two of those if I run out. That's the same, and it's working. These things last forever. I'm telling you guys. These Crayola Super Tips. Okay, that one's almost gone. So we'll take that one. Got two more here. I don't know how interesting this is going to be. It might be a little... I don't think anything's boring. I'll watch anybody's paint and watch paint dry. But, this is probably not the show for everybody. All right. So let me bind these back up with my rubber bands because then they sit on my build right here. Okay, so let's start with these. And what I'm going to do is just make, this is probably a good one to chat in because I'm going to make 6 squares on a page. And I'm trying to use up, especially the ones that are running out. So if they're starting to run out, I want to use those. And see how it's kind of not completely filled in? I tweeted a bag of markers I'm saving for a project. Oh, Julie, let's look at that. Hang on. Let's look at your bag of markers. We have so much fun around here. So if it's like running out, see how it's kind of like that? That's a good one to sketch on top of. All right, let me find Julie here. All right. Okay. Let me turn the light down so it shows up. Hang on. All right, come on. Julie's got a bag of markers. Decommissioned markers, yes. Waiting for a project. Yeah. So essentially what we're doing by doing this is we're making boxes. We're making boxes to draw in, to sketch on top of. So then if you are looking through an art book or just your imagination or whatever, or you see a picture on Google, like I said, I was going to think about doing some pumpkins and fall leaves on the ones I already finished. So we'll see how it goes. My arm's probably going to get tired, so I'll want to stop and, maybe deconstruct those 2 books and put them in a binder. We'll see. And it's also a good time to chat. Okay, so let me see which color that one is. Was it this one? No, it's a different one. Is it this one? I might have had 2 of this one because there's so many shades. Okay, so that one's good. All right, and this too, I'll keep this. Again, this is like making an inspiration sketchbook for you to play in. And Paula was talking about that, and she showed some. Again, this is dedicated to Paula today. All right, so I'm thinking that one's pretty much done. I could probably get one more square out of it, but and Paula showed some new books she has, and she was just inspiring. She was inspiring. So I said, I am going to get us going on some squares to sketch in. Hi, Amy. Hi, Sharon. And then I'll show you how I'm going to do a few. I won't do them with the markers. I'll probably do them with some watercolor, maybe some ovals that you draw faces on. The 5-second faces. If you have ovals to do that on, and I've seen tons of people doing. If you go on Pinterest, you can probably find. Look, I don't know what you'd look at. Maybe oval paint or painted ovals to draw faces on. I don't know. I'm sure there's some on there somewhere, and it just gives you a little oval of color to do your faces on. And they're in books and things, in sketchbooks. I don't know if they were in any of the ones Paula showed. I don't think I had the one that I'm thinking of that Paula has to show you. But yeah, so something like this. And if you don't like them sketchy like that, then just, go back over it a second time. I'm trying to use these markers up. So it just depends on how, leave some sketchy, because it gives it more interest to draw on top of if you have some kind of like sketchy type background. Hi, Pacola. We were asking about you to see how the storm is down in your area. We weren't sure you were going to be here. Hi, Towel. Hi, Marie. Anybody else? I want to see what Pacola's situation is. So I want to watch for that. So again, this is, and y'all know, last week or the week before, I took some of my sketchbooks, my mixed media sketchbooks that are in spirals, and I de-spiraled 3 of them and put them on book rings. So I wouldn't do this on those, because then you feel it's too precious. If you have a nice paper, if you paid $15 for a sketchbook, which, I rarely ever do because I get everything 50% off when I use coupons and stuff. But, if you have a nice sketchbook, you're not going to want to sketch in it. And I've just found that so true of so many people. If you have a nice mixed media or a nice sketchbook, spiral bound, a Strathmore, whatever brand, you open a new sketchbook and you're so afraid to use it, just get copy paper and sketch. I have cheap sketchbooks from Michael's. Is that all right? Yeah, you can do it in whatever you want, Terry. But I just found, Terry R. If you want to you can do this in any sketchbook. What I'm saying is most people won't. They won't scribble in a sketchbook that they've paid more than $1 for. right? And here I've got 500 sheets of paper, not right here, but the 500 sheets in a ream of copy paper for what, $5-6 at the most. So you're not so precious with it. Okay, so now I've used that one up, so I'll get rid of that one. So I'm not going to do every color because that would be too boring. But I want to do a few of each. Hi, Gabriel. Hey, Faithful Mess. So if you're just joining us, we're just making squares of color to sketch on. And then I'll probably do some watercolor ones that are ovals to do faces on. I mean, you could do faces on these too, but I'm just going to use some different mediums. And we're making a true like sketchbook, a 3-ring binder type. What I don't like about composition books is the lines. Now, sometimes I don't mind the lines if it's going to be a mixed media journal type thing, Julie. If it's going to be, if I'm going to paint in it, I don't mind the lines. But when I'm sketching, I mean, I've done it, but it's not my favorite to do. I have composition books for different things. Like I have one composition book that's all for kimono patterns, but that's painting. I'm painting over the lines, so you don't really see the lines. But that can be distracting to a lot of people too. Yes, we're going to use Crayola. We're using Crayola. We're going to use a little bit of everything. If y'all weren't here, what I said I was doing is a lot of these in right here in my build, I've got multiple sets of these. I use them for a lot of different things. But then, and they last a long, long time. But I'm kind of going through and seeing which ones are really running out. And I'm using them up. And then I'm putting them in a bag over here to use in some other project. Now, I'm not going to do all, like, I got a couple hundred of them here. I'm not going to do every one. But I'm trying to get y'all to see, what we're an idea. We'll see how far we get. And I'm not doing the real dark colors like navy blue, violet, purple, because you can't, unless you draw with white, you're not going to see, well, no, you can draw with white. We all like that too. But hi, Natalie. I've shown it before, Natalie. I'm not going to show it today because I'm kind of into this right now. Okay, this one's almost really gone. So maybe I'll do. All right, so that one's really almost gone. So let me just get as much as I can out of that one. And I'm going to leave the lines. See, I don't want it perfect. But if you want it, this one's almost gone too. If you want it completely solid, filled in, then it's probably best if you use some acrylic paint, some watercolor, something else. All right, I'm calling that one done. Okay, I got 4 more here. This one's almost done too. Then they're not on my shelf, because then when I grab it, then it doesn't work. Then I have to grab another one because they're almost gone, as you can see. Yes, as a play on words for a sketchbook. Yes. But you can see how they're really starting to run out. Now, these are just for little thumbnail drawings. Just some little sketch. They're for little sketches to sketch on. And I'm not putting them in boxes for a reason. Let me get a sip of coffee here, guys. That way, if you're sketching, you don't feel confined to a box. So in other words, let's just get a ballpoint pen or something here. So if you wanted to do a little flower sketch, let's just say, you can go off the lines, right? I mean, you can go out of the box. This one's almost done. Okay. And, again, it's just cheap copy paper. so you don't feel precious about it. And then don't tell me how many trees I'm destroying. I will draw on every one of these. All right, that one's pretty much gone. Let's use this last one here. Hi, Tina. I'm sure I'm missing somebody. Robin. Hi, Robin. Designs by. I recognize your name. I sent you out your disc. I recognize your name. I sent out. How many did I send? I sent out, I think, 12 day before yesterday on Tuesday because there was no mail on Monday. And then I sent out 15. What day did I went today? So 15 went out today. So yeah, I've sent out about 30 art discs this week and Happy Mail. So if y'all are expecting a Happy Mail from me, you should get it in the next couple days, including my mods. I sent my mods something too. Always come up with also. Oh, thanks, Marie. Again, I did not invent drawing on squares. I did not invent drawing on ovals for faces. But, we can recombine things. We can make a whole sketchbook with it instead of just, a page in your sketchbook. So we'll see where it goes. And again, if you want to throw any ink on these, then you're going to have to set them aside till those ink splots dry. So I'm not going to splot these right now, but okay. So there we go. We got rid of all those. And then this is what I'm left with out of that batch. Okay, so now I have these pink ones. And we'll take a break and do some other things in between. Because, I know it's a lot of the same swatchy stuff, but at least I get to talk to y'all while I'm doing this. I have some stamps sent over. Oh, thank you, Faithful. And speaking of stamps, not postage stamps, but that's the other thing that I want to do. I don't know that I'll do it today. Maybe we might do a little sample. Is all my rubber stamps. I still have quite a few that are mounted on wood. I try to deconstruct a lot of them, but the ones that are still mounted on wood are little the cardboard cigar boxes. I cut the lids off of them, and they're like stacks in there. I'm gonna have to go get me some juice in a minute. And use them even if you just stamp all over your page or like stamp on top, just one design, like a little flower, a music note, whatever, and use your stamps because we, don't use them enough anymore. I don't anyway. I don't use them enough. Oh, thank you, Loretta. Yeah, my Inktober's. Okay, so let's see here. Do I want to, these are a lot of pinks and peaches. Okay, so let me get all the peach kind of ones that are pretty similar. I don't know if they're exact. Then these pinks. Then these are a little bit darker. Then these, then this, and then that. Okay, so there we go. Okay. These, well, here, I'll do a sample with the peach ones here. It's better if you just paint some ovals, but you can just, just draw some. And you can do them in different shades. You can do them in different skin tones. Do them in different skin tones. But I'll do a page here and I'll show you, just like we did our 5-second faces. And again, I'm trying to use these markers up. You agree about the stamps? Yeah, we just don't use them enough. I mean, there's still people that do use them a lot in projects. I mean, I guess Tim Holtz is still coming out with the new sets of stamps every what do you call it? Every time a new product line comes out. And there's others, Jane Davenport, I think, doesn't she have face stamp? No, she's kind of gone more to stencils and die cuts, hasn't she? At least from watching Xandra. Does she still have stamps or am I thinking of somebody else? So they're still out there, but they're just not as much as like, before scrapbooking, And, you know, we do this, I'm talking years ago now, people, a lot of years ago, when we do mail art, zines, you know, kind of where we use and stamps. I'm talking back in the way back, not that far back, but far back, you know, early 90s and late 80s, you know, when everybody was doing stamping and catalogs and vulcanizers to make your own and all that. And stamp stores were on all the corners, not as much as they were on like scrapbooking, but there was a lot of, you know, stamp stores. And we just did have a stamp convention here. I didn't go to it. I just said, I don't need any stamps. But back in the way back, yeah. Okay, so like this, you know, and then I'll take, let me get a nice thick pencil or something here. Here we go. This is an XXB, I think. What is this one? Yeah, this is a 9XXB. But, and I showed y'all how to do the 5 so you can do them looking up. You know, we did this last week, so I won't do a whole bunch of them. We can have one, you know, kind of looking straight on here. Let's have this one maybe looking up this way. Now I'm just doing little quick sketches real quick. Have this one looking up this way. It's a chin. And then this one looking down. Now we'll go back and just do a little play on each one. And you make them each, you know, their own little personalities. And you know, they can be funny faces. They can be more realistic. But the idea is to get you just to, you know, the chin would be right there. This one's looking up. Let's have another one looking down. And you put funny hats and whatever on each one. Okay, so then just quick little sketches. Hi, Diana. And then you can go back and play with them more, especially if you have a smudgy pencil like this one. I know a lot of people don't like, me being one of them, I don't like really dry, but these pencils are not too dry. So you can smudge. And we can kind of draw their faces. Maybe this one has a hat on. Put a bowler or something like that. So anyway, and you can just start, you know, but the idea is don't be precious with it. The idea is to be quick and sketchy and ideas, you know, and just play like this. This is why it's called a sketchbook. Trying to learn how to, yeah. And there's tons of books, guys. Tons of books on all this, you know, and I always recommend drawing on the right side of the brain for more learning how to draw more realistic. But in this case, it's more just about, you know, just nothing. It's just about sketching. And and you can do all different kinds of faces. You do pretty girls with like pretty eyelashes and, you know, some pretty hair. Tiny little nose, little lips. And my pencil's not even sharp. So. And just, you know, nothing. It's just freeing up your hand. How do you make the eyeballs look the right way? It takes practice. Right now, I'm not even drawing it. I'm just drawing black dots because they're tiny. I think one of the tricks to the eye looking the right way is the highlights, where you put the highlights in the eyes, but you know. So anyway, you can do this. This is just on top of the marker, right? You know. Anyway, okay, so let's keep moving. Let's keep rolling. Let me get a baby wipe here. Making a sketchbook, a book to do sketches in. And remember, I'm even keeping these. And use a ballpoint pen. Or, you know, just a pencil that smudges well. Or, you know, anything, guys. All right, so let's do another thing of faces here. Just because now I'm using up this marker. And then if you just put them in your book, and I would probably recommend not putting them in rainbow color order. Because something about, and I found this for myself, I found that when I'm just doing it that way because that's the way they're in my shelf. They're yellows, oranges, reds, pinks, you know, they're all in rainbow color order on my shelf. So I can grab them easy. But if you put them in the sketchbook, I would recommend mixing it up. You know, here's a brown ink splatter one. And I know it's a lot of people are OCD and they're going, oh, I can't do that. But I'm telling you, it's going to free you up. Rather than put them in any kind of order, mix up the order of them, you know, and I'm not going to do them all right now. But when I put them in the book, my binder, then I'm going to put them all different ways. That way, when you just flip to a page, and the other thing, and I know it's hard for some people to do, is not go in order. If you have a whole binder full of color on a page, I think Paula's one. I got to admit, again, remember, we're dedicating this to Paula today. I think Paula's one that can't skip around in her book. I'm not sure. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure she has said she can't skip around in a sketchbook. She has to go page by page in order. But if you can get over that, Paula or anybody, if you can get over that, your sketchbook is going to be, you can still date things. If you go to the middle of a sketchbook and you put today's date on it, if you're a dater, you know, if you like to date your stuff, then go ahead and date your pages. Just because they're not in order, you'll still know what date you did it in. That will help you get over that. You're going to Zentangle on them. Good idea, Marie. See, I'm not a Zentangler, but that's an awesome idea. Zentangle on them. Now, I will say this. Depending on the mediums here you're using, if you want to Zentangle, let's say you're doing a certain kind of, I don't know what kind of pen, I'll just say a micron for an example. If you're Zentangling with a micron, I've got to go get some juice, guys. If you're Zentangling with a micron on marker, it might bleed. So test it out to make sure if you use, you know, if you're Zentangling or sketching or whatever, with something that's detailed like that you can't really have bleed, make sure that the pen is not going to react with the marker or watercolor. You know, I'm going to do some watercolor swatches here in a minute. Make sure that they don't, you know, mess your, you know, what your idea is. How do you do eyebrows to make a face look curved and not flat? You know, Loretta, my suggestion is do a lot of drawings, do a lot of looking, a lot of observing, a lot of sketching. There's just no substitute. There's not a formula. There's not a formula. A tilt of a head. Just a tilt of a head, the tiniest bit, is going to change the eyebrows. There's just no formula, guys. The trick to drawing well is learning how to draw what you see, not what you think you see. And the best book that I found to help you do that is drawing on the right side of the brain. There's other ones out there now, because that one's an old book. It's back from the 70s, although I think it's been revamped a time or two since then. And she's come out with, or the publishers have come out with a sketchbook with it and all that. I could use some of my acrylic pour skins on boxes. Circles. Yeah, see, I don't do acrylic pours, and I don't even really use the skins. My acrylic skins that, you know, I peel off of my plastic palettes. I'm saving those for Dorothy. I just don't use them. It's just not my thing, you know. I look at references for angles too. It's hard to ignore what you, well, Loretta, one of the, I'll give you one tip here. Try to draw some things upside down. A photograph. You got a photo, try to draw it upside down. Don't think about if you're drawing an elephant, a face, a tiger, a bird, whatever it is you're drawing. Don't think about it, oh, this is a bird. Turn it upside down and look at the shapes. And also, guys, if you haven't, I don't know exactly where in my playlist they are, but I've done shows where I've shown how to practice with some tracing paper, Sharpies, and fashion magazines. If y'all haven't been around for those, if you have been around for those, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It helps you see shapes. It helps you see shapes. and once you do that, it's just, I can't explain what, there's something clicks in your brain. Hi, Danny girl. Oh, you make jewelry with them. Oh, awesome. Do you make beads out of them or something, Amy? With the skins? All right. Hey, Joey, see, let me go get some coffee. I mean, not coffee, some juice, guys. Hang on. I'm losing my voice. Okay. And what's so cute, I brought it up to show you. Yesterday when Hubster went to the store, he said, because he knows I'm going to do a pumpkin this year. You know, I do a pumpkin on in October every year, a collage pumpkin and some collage masks, which we may do that next week. Well, maybe do the mask next week and the pumpkin the week after. But anyway, he goes, then this isn't really for your show. He goes, but I saw this cute pumpkin. I had to get it for you. So he bought me this little pumpkin. But anyway, it's just so cute and little. So it's really kind of funny because when we did Jasmine's Halloween page, she's holding the pumpkin. It's about this size. So I thought that was kind of cute. But yeah. Neat, Amy. Neat. Do you sell them? If you have an Etsy, you can put your Etsy shop name. You can't put a link, but you can put the name of it in there. I know, wasn't that sweet? Hi, Daydreaming Leanne. Sorry, guys. I'm just with the fan blowing in my face at night and the weather changing. It just, you know, does your voice in. Okay, so now let me just do a test here. So that one's pretty much gone. I'm going to just weed them out here. That one's still good. That one's good for maybe one more use. That one's getting low. I'm just going to go through them real quick and see which ones I want to keep and which ones I want to get rid of. Because that was kind of the idea, using these up. I could probably get one more page out of that one. That one's pretty much gone. That one's still okay. And the other thing too, guys, if you do a lot of sketching in sketchbooks, is reuse your art. That one's gone. Reuse your art. In other words, let's just say you do some sketching, and I don't have them. I've done tons of samples, but I don't have them right at hand. Make a copy of your sketches that you might have done. Let's just say you had a whole page of, where's those faces? I threw them, they're in here somewhere. Anyway, let's just say you did a whole page of flowers on the pink here, or watermelons or whatever. Then either cut them out and reuse them in another project, or make a copy of them and you reuse them. Okay, Robin. Okay, take care of yourself. Thanks for stopping in when you can. Hi, Catherine, Amy, B. Jean. Welcome. Okay, so, all right, so let's use these up here. Okay, so now I'll just do a whole bunch of circles here. So this one's just about run out. I got a page of ovals out of it. Okay, that one will go in the bag. See, I've got a bag here of the ones that are run out. Okay, let's see here. Maybe I'll just do some. This one's about out. Let's do some rows here. It just, if you're sketching on top of something like this, you're not going to be, no, Sabrina. These are just some that I've had right here for a while, and they're mixed. I have different sets mixed in. And some of them are used up and some of them aren't. So I'm kind of just getting the ones that are almost running out of the stack. But even no matter what you're going to sketch, it doesn't matter if you're going to do a landscape. You know, if you just have this and you're sketching and you're, just some mountains, maybe some trees, whatever it is you're sketching. See, just having something on the color makes it less intimidating. Do you know what I mean, Vern? Just having a little splotch of color. The paper's already messed up. These are super tips. Yeah, these are super tips. Your paper's already messed up. You know what I mean? So you're not going to be afraid to sketch on top of it and say, oh my gosh, I'm going to mess it up. There's something about it, guys. I'm telling you, there's something about having some scribbles on a page that makes your paper less precious and intimidating. And that one's still good. And this one's almost run out. So let's just use this up. And again, cheap copy paper. Okay. All right, so now I got all these peach color and pink ones gone through. All right, so we'll take a break from this for a minute. I got some, so I still have dark blue. I'm not going to do dark blue because you can't, unless I use white, you're not going to be able to see it, right? Okay, so I'm going to separate the dark blues out. I still want to swatch them just to have, have the color on the page. But I don't want to like squares of dark blue because unless I use white, you're not going to be able to see. So let's just do these real quick. I'm just going to test them. We'll do a quick test. Okay, let's start with the dark blue. Just so I can weed them out, whether I use them on a sketchbook or not. Then I can just weed out the ones that are not working. Okay, that one's still good. Let me just quickly go through. This is just an idea collector, swatching, sketchbook ideas today. So not really any projects or anything. So It may not be for you. Don't email me and, don't give me a thumbs down because you don't like to see swatching. Just move on. Right? Hi, Ella. Hey, Kat. Hi, Eileen. If I missed saying hi to Eileen. I didn't see, did Pacola ever answer about the hurricane coming near her? I kept looking and I didn't see her answer. These would be good to do clouds on, painty clouds. So I'm just testing them here. So let's connect them all. Let's make some kind of a sky. That one's pretty much gone. That one's still got some juice in it. She's in the line, but so far just getting rain. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Jean. Yeah, I've been thinking about her. Okay, that one's still good. Jean, I've been seeing how you've been having a good Thanksgiving with your family. Okay. These were all pretty good. Oh, get another rubber band there. Okay. Just having some messy papers. And I know some people are going to go, that's a waste. It's a waste. It's not a waste if you turn it into a sketchbook, which is what we want to do. We have over 600 power trucks here in Pensacola from all over the country. Their drivers are in hotels waiting for the word to head out to help those. Oh, I am just ready. So you're not in danger of your house blowing away or anything, Pacola. The storm will go ashore this afternoon. Yeah, we're already getting rain from it. How is that even possible? It hasn't even hit the shore yet. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks, Eileen. Eileen's posting everything twice, so she makes sure I see it. Okay, so I'm going to stop on this for a minute. Okay, I'm just going to put these over here to the side because I got the grays and the light blues next. Then I've got the teals, the greens, and the dark greens. But let's see. So they're just right here in front of me. But I want to show y'all some different. Oh, I got purples too. Oh, I forgot about those. Okay, so those can go with the pinks. Okay, so let me move that off the table for a minute. And we're going to do a couple different things just to show you some different things. Georgia will get calendar. Yeah, well, I think it's supposed to be kind of really south. I don't know that we're going to get up here. I mean, we already have rain, but it's not supposed to be, this north. So we'll see. Okay, so now let's just go with our Jane Davenport watercolors. I mean, any watercolors. It's just that's the ones I have here. All right, so we're going to do so. And you can do this with any of anything that you have. Your inks, your watercolors. I'm going to do a little bit of maybe some acrylic paints. You could do it with Copics. Just make sure you know that Copics are going to go through probably 3 pages. So keep a scratch piece behind. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get all my watercolors wet. I just spray them all down and get them juicy. They're just off to the side, Galena. All right, so let's see. Let's get a watercolor brush and a couple of Kleenexes to clean as I go. And we're going to do just all kinds of things just call it a sketchbook prep. And all right, so let's go ahead and go with the more of these skin tones first, and we can do some just little semi-ovals, you know, just kind of like something like that. And then you can draw on top of it. Doesn't have to be perfect circles or perfect ovals, rather. Just something where you're going to put faces on. Again, it's just to free you up. It's to free you up to have a sketch book. Amy. Near Statesboro. Yeah, that's a little south. Yeah. I'm squeezing a little water out here. And then, you know, these now you're going to need to set aside to dry or hit it with the heat gun. I'm just going to throw them on the floor for now. But it's just this way you have something to start on. You're just not intimidated by a blank page. And I know not everybody can do this. I know some people are very OCD about, you know, but this is probably the best thing you could do if you were that way, is to get out of that. Maybe I'll show y'all some sketchbooks today. It's just all about talking about sketches and sketchbooks and making sketchbooks. Okay, so they're very light. They're good enough just to, I'm going to put these on the floor so they dry. I'll do a couple pages of these here. There's an orange one. And faces can be, you can do any color faces. It can be orange, yellow, blue, pink, anything. Let's do some. And these don't have to be faces. They can be anything. Sorry, guys, about my voice. Thanks, Terry. That's sweet. Let's do one of these colors. But here's the thing. This is Society Idea Collectors. So if I do something here, and you don't have to do it along with me, but write it down. Get you out some, even if it's just Post-it notes to write your ideas down. Get a little more water in that one. If you're in the Society of Idea Collectors, you should have a book. You're supposed to have a Society of Idea Collector book to be in the Society of Idea Collectors. That's just the only rule I have. And the book can be anything you want, but you're supposed to have a book. Your ink tints blocks. That would be awesome. Yeah, as long as, you know, test it first to make sure, you know, of course, you always want to make sure it's dry, Marie. You know, make sure it's dry before you use a micron or any kind of pen. Before you use a pen on any type of material, you know, make sure it's not going to bleed, even if it is dry. Okay, so there's some of those colors. Okay, you're going to walk on my paper? Cat's back. Okay, come on up. I know you want to. All right, so I'll use most of those colors. All right, let's go to, I want to lose my cap here. With the cat's walking around up here. Didn't like that water spray. Oh my gosh, that was funny. Okay, now I'm going to just do some more squares. Don't like those little spritzes, baby. Well, it'll keep you away from my cord, won't it? Yeah, thank you, Picola. And Picola, you weren't here when I was asking. Is this number 41? I'm going to pull a couple names out of the bowl. I can't remember if this is 41. Might just spray a little bit of water on here. Get it moving. This is not watercolor paper. It's just copy paper. Just, you're playing with copy paper today. Let's see. Let's do a red, yellow, and don't get in the cords, baby. Okay, he's walking around the microphone cords. A little bit juicier. So again, you can do stripes, you can do just squares, just something like this, even just that. No, you can't have the pumpkin, baby. You don't want the pumpkin. I see his little paw coming behind my computer, reaching for the pumpkin. Ugh. All right, so let's just go with those. All right, let's see. I've got these pink brighter ones here. 41, thank you, Pico. I thought so. All right, so let's get some of these nice pinks. It's just giving you something to work on. It can be scribbles, it can be squares, it can be multiple colors. It's just so you're not sketching on a white paper that intimidates you. No, baby, you can't have the microphone. You're gonna have. I think I'm gonna have to get them out of here. They love the cords, the microphone cords, the computer cords. I don't know what it is about it, but they do. Hi, great. We're just doing, we're loosening up our sketchbook papers. And to do that, okay, I got to get them out of here. Come on, y'all gonna have to go. Sorry, baby, sorry. We'll be disconnected in a minute if I'm not. And I'll show y'all a couple of the books and everything. So just having something on the page, right? It can be neat, but don't make them too neat, because I'm telling you, you'll be happier if they're not. All right, so let's see here. I got this pile done. We'll go through them. I'll flip through them all later. Let those dry. All right, so they're showing you how to use some watercolor lines. Let's put that. And again, you can splatter with ink. You can splatter them, but then you really have to be careful to not stack them. If you splatter with ink, they'll stick together until they're dry. Okay, so let's see what we can go to now. Let's take a little break from this for just a minute. And looking from a book here. Where's my drawing on the right side of the brain? Okay, I think here's my stack. All right, so we'll take a minute. Okay. We'll take a minute to do, since we're talking sketchbooks. Hi, Darla. It's a Society Idea Collector. Messing up a sketchbook. Well, making your own. Making your own sketchbook out of just a 3-ring binder and copy paper. But you can use whatever you want, but you're going to be less intimidated if you're just using copy paper. Okay, so here's some of our samples that we've done over the years. I don't even know how old this book is. This one is a few years old. I just don't ever buy them because I don't use fashion magazines in my collage very rarely. But I bought this one to show you how to do. There's quite a few different projects we've done out of this. So there's not much of this book left, so I really need to get another one. Okay, drawing on the right side of the brain. Here's the workbook somebody sent me, and I've not done anything in the workbook. Okay, my copy of Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain I've had since the 70s, probably 79 or, maybe 1980, and it's falling apart and it's really old. But this is the best book that I found to show you not necessarily just the techniques, but the idea of how to see. This is the best book for that. So I always recommend it. Again, there's an updated version of it, but I'm going to show you a couple pictures here. I've shown them before. So, and these are from 1978, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so in August, this is how this person drew. A month later, they could do that. And it's all about learning to see. Now, this one was a year later, but you'll still get the idea. Okay, so this is how this person drew at the beginning. A year later, they did that. There's a few in here I'll show. Okay, so here is, this is from September to November, so 2 months. So in 2 months, they went from this to that. That's 2 months. And I'll show one more here. This one is from April to May. So from April to May. And it's all about, it's all about learning how to see. Okay. So this is the book that I recommend. And there's lots of things in here to help you learn how to see. One of which is drawing things upside down so that you start to see things as they are. You're going to see the shapes. You're going to see the contours. You're going to see things rather than, and I'll give you the example I always show people. And I know if y'all have heard me talk about this and seen it 1,000 times, just fast forward. So when you're a kid, you think, oh, this is what a house looks like, right? But that's not what a house looks like. But if it's in your head, if it's stuck in your head that that's what a house looks like, you're not looking at, you're not going to see all the different, you're not going to see what it really looks like. So that is the main thing you're going to learn from drawing on the right side of the brain is how to see. It's practice as well, guys. It's lots of practice, but it's how to see things as they really are, not what you think they should look like. That is like the whole key. And once you get that down, once it's kind of like an aha moment. Once you get that aha moment down, that you draw what you see, and regardless if it looks exactly like what you think it should look like, you draw what you see. Okay, so how do I help you do that? I've shown you a few different tips and techniques. Take a fashion. I'm not going to get into it too deep today because that's not today's show. But just to add a little bit of sketchbook ideas for you. Buy you a fashion magazine if you want to draw people. Buy you a fashion magazine and just some cheap tracing paper. I have a blank one. I rarely have a blank piece of paper anywhere, but okay. And what you do is you go, and I'm going to probably be hard pressed to find any because we've cut this magazine up and used it for so many projects. But the idea is to look for shapes. Take your tracing paper and a fat Sharpie, not the fattest, but a pretty fat one. This is it's called fine point, but it's a fatter one, right? It's not the pen. And start looking for shapes. You can just kind of outline the face here. Of course, there's no top to her head there, but look for shapes. Usually the shoulders, you can do, and your elbows and your knees are going to be circles, but just go in here and find shapes. And what this does, it helps you to see shapes. There's just no two ways around it. It helps you see shapes. The other thing this helps you do is see perspective. Here you can see it's just shapes. The other thing that it helps you with perspective is, let me see if I can find something that's really, okay. All right, so here's this little family here of people, and I don't have any more paper. Let's see. Do I have a sheet in here? Ah, here we go. Yay, paper. Okay. The other thing this helps you do is see how proportion. Okay. So let's just do this woman's face and hands. Okay. She's not really at some weird angle. She's just kind of straight on. So here's her face. Here's her ear. You can just kind of, you can kind of put a little, just whatever in there just to indicate the face. Then her hair and everything's way big. That's the other thing that people get. They think that, well, I'll show you that in a minute. All right. So then her hand is holding a purse. But look how big her hand is. Her hand's as big as her face. And even it's a little tucked up underneath, but the length of it, see the length of her hand? Look how big her hand is. You know? Yeah, well, that's, Loretta, this will help you. Do these exercises and take a fashion magazine and some tracing papers, just some cheap stuff from Michael's, and do this practice. And you'll start to see things that you didn't notice before. But here's the thing. It's kind of like mind mapping. People go, oh, I tell them how to mind map some of the simplest mind maps, very simple mind maps, like the color mind maps. What do you mind map off one color? What things are that color? Simple mind maps. And then to ask questions off of them. Y'all know we've done the mind mapping stuff here. And they don't do it. And they say, I don't get it. I don't get mind mapping. I don't see the point. What's the point of that? What am I going to learn from that? Have you done it yet? No. Hey, I can't force you to do it. It's just like anything. If you do this for a while, you do one of these thick ones, one of these thick magazines, you will get it. But, don't come back to me later and say, well, I don't understand why I can't see the proportion of the hands or have you done this? No. Well, hey, I can't force you to do the practices. So anyway, and the other thing that you could do after you do with the things with the tracing paper. So we've done so many different projects in this book. It's just really, the next thing you can do is go through the book and do the shapes directly on top. Do shapes directly on top. Just to see sizes and things. Or you can do the, the lines, like, I should have done this before I did the shapes. But anyway, people think that eyes, newbies, I should say. Most of y'all are not newbies because we've done all this so long. But, they'll draw, the oval sketch thing. And then the eyes are up here. That's not, the eyes are down there. Here's your eyes. Okay. And if you do this on an actual face, you will see, look, her eyes are in the middle of that head. Now, there's exceptions too. If you're looking up in the air, like this looks like he's looking up in the air, right? But if you're just doing a straight on face, look, their eyes are in the middle of the face. Yeah, there's all kinds of things you can find. Yeah, you can get magazines at all kinds, But, like I said, I've had this same magazine for a few years. It's $5.99 or whatever it is. Yeah, $5.99. And you can practice in it for months. $5.99 is worth, a magazine if you're going to practice in it. Hey, Becky, Kalora. Hey, Laura, I'm sure I'm missing some people. Auntie B, Gail. Okay. So I wasn't going to get into this today, but because it's part of sketching, I went ahead and just pulled this out. But drawing on the right side of the brain, and you can buy a workbook. I haven't worked in the workbook. Like I said, somebody sent me the workbook, but I've had this book since 79 or 80. So, yeah. So there's some practice. If you want to learn how to draw what you see, then there's tons of other books, guys. But this one, to me, has the best exercises and the best get to the point and learn how to. This is just the best one to me. Okay. I'll pull out some other sketchbooks and stuff in a little while if y'all want to see some more, Danny Gregory's and, how to practice drawing. I'll show you some of those books in a little bit. What I'm trying to get you guys to do, though, is just take a whole stack of copy paper and put color on it. Whatever, or just something. And I was just using my Let me go ahead and do another stack of my colors. I'm trying to use up the markers that are running low. Okay, if they're not running low, then I just put them back in the rubber band and back on my shelf. If they're running out, then I'm pulling them out from my stash. Okay, this one's getting pretty low. I can probably do, let's go ahead and do a whole page of lilac. And it can be squares, it can be oval, it can be anything. It's just the idea is to get some color on the paper. Whether you're using watercolor, markers, you know. I'm going to show you some acrylic paint, because what I like about acrylic paint is you can do pencil on color pencils on top of acrylic paint. Okay, so I think I've pretty much used that one up. Okay, let me make some space here. Leave these watercolor ones to dry on the floor. Yeah, I'll show y'all some sketchbooks. Okay, so now let me just go through these and see which ones. I'm just going to do a page of, is there anything left in that one? These two have some. You know, and at least give it a try. If you don't want to do a whole ream of paper and put it in a 3-ring binder, you know, do 10 pages. You know, just do 10 pages and see if you like the idea. See if you like the idea. These are all still good and juicy. Just looking on train on way home from work. Oh, well, hey, Louise. Well, have fun on the train. I can't imagine. That's something, you know, I can't imagine taking a train or a subway home every day from work. You know, I guess when you just get used to driving everywhere all your life, you know, it just seems funny to the idea of, and, you know, millions of people do it, you know, but it just, I can't imagine taking a train or a subway home every day. All right, this one's dead. That one is dead. So that one goes in the bag. Hi, Marie. This one's dead. I have a gnat in here. I hate when there's a gnat in your, I think that's it. Oh, good. I just killed it. I just squished it right there. Okay, so there was a couple that were no good. And then these are all fine. So let's bundle these back up. Oh, where my rubber band, there it is. I work on trains. I spend my life. Oh, okay. What do you do, Louise? You work on trains. What do you do? How interesting is that? I'm going to swatch these out real quick, guys. See which ones are working and which ones aren't. I think I make 2 bundles. Well, that's okay. I'll just go dark and light. What do you do? Thanks, Terry. This one's about, let me just get maybe a couple of squares out. Yeah, this one's about gone. I want to see what somebody does on a train. Oh, it's still got some juice in it. Oh, that one's gone. Hi, Kathy, Crafty Kitty. Hi, Donna. I'm sure I'm missing some people coming in. I want to see, Louise, tell us, Louise, what do you do on the train? You work on a train. Hi, Joan, Sharon. Thanks. If y'all just join us, what we're doing is using copy paper, punched holes in it, 3-ring binder. I'm going through my markers like that one's no good and sorting out which ones are still good, which ones aren't. And then you use this paper to sketch on. A train guard working trains out of Paddington in London. Oh my gosh, how interesting. Do you write stories? Are you a writer, Louise? You need to be. You need to be a writer. Oh my gosh, the stories you could tell. These kind of are more gray, but I'll leave them in there with the blue. You want to tell us one of your stories? I'm sure you've got stories to tell. Okay, that one's still good. Tell us a story, Louise. Do you have I'm sure you got some funny stories. I know I put you on the spot, didn't I? You're thinking, I don't want to talk about any stories. Okay, so there's a page of blue now. Now I'm going to go back to maybe some squares to draw in and around, I should say, because you don't have to stay inside the squares. And you can do these all different sizes. I'm just doing like 6 on a sheet. You're a prison guard, Donna? Or are you just saying you'd rather do that than a prison guard? Donna, are you a prison guard? I'm sure you've got some stories. Oh my gosh. And again, you could fill these in neater, but I like the sketchy quality of it. Again, it's less precious. It's less, if you do a perfect little square of color, you're gonna make yourself intimidated by it. This project is to loosen you up. If Louise tells you she may have to kill me. You girls. Hi, Deborah. Hey, Crafty with the Heart. Anybody that's joined us, what we're doing is just taking cheap copy paper, punching holes, or you can buy it with holes already punched too. It's a little more expensive, but it's, easier to, it's already got the holes punched in it. And we're just playing with all just different materials, markers. I'm just testing my markers, seeing if I can use some up that are almost out anyway. And making squares to draw, or making places to sketch on. I'm going to be writing stories for a 90-year-old local metal. Awesome, Desiree. I'm going to be writing stories for a local 90-year-old metal artist. That'll be awesome. Okay, so Louise said, plenty of stories. Today we had a load of ballast on the track and had to check the train for damage, and I reunited a woman with her passport, but that's just today. Aw, that's nice, though. Do you write your stories down, Louise? Okay, Pacola says Crayola has a marker drop-off program at schools. They pay FedEx to pick up the markers and recycle them. Oh, okay. I was just going to use them in an art project. And I told this to, I think it was Blade I told this to some years ago. I don't know. I think it was old paintbrushes he had. And this was when he had a studio. They've since moved. This was some years ago. But I told him that he should make a railing in his studio with all the paintbrushes. He had a big working studio, huge, if y'all remember. Glue them all around like a chair rail. I was thinking more along the lines of taking them and okay, that one's this. Taking them and maybe making. You can make those wood frames. Those cheap wood frames you can buy like at Michael's. Glue these on around the frame. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be pretty? A kid's room. You could do it in any color or just random colors. Just if you just want to keep the caps, you know, and just make a frame out of them on top of those cheap dollar. You can get them for $1 at Michael's all the time. Those wood frames that are real cheap. You could glue these on, make some pretty little frames. Okay, let's see. Last 7 years working on your back gave out. You were an actual prison guard, Donna? Do I have that right? So, you know, use them for that. You can find something to do with them. Okay, let me test these last few here. Okay, so I'm going to make some more little, this one's about gone, as you can see. But if you leave it like that, just to draw on, just little thumbnail sketches. It can be anything. It doesn't have to even go, you know, draw little, you know, little potted plants or, you know, just whatever, you know, just draw your little tree or something, little bonsai tree, you know, whatever you're drawing, whatever you're, it's just whatever you're sketching. It's just that this gives you something to sketch on top of. So you're not intimidated by the blank white page. And again, today's show is dedicated to Paula, journal artista. She did some pears. I think it was pears. And she did that. Now, I don't know if she would have had to have done the squares first, but she did some tiny thumbnails of pears, I think it was. But I'm going to show you all some books. There's all kinds of ideas like these. Trust me, I did not make up the idea of drawing on top of color squares. Correctional officer. Oh, okay. Yes, Louise, you should write them down. All right, that one's no good. All right, I'll keep the cat. All right, so you see, and again, if you put all these, and don't put them in kind of order, mix them up so there's not all color, you know, just if you mix them up in your sketchbook, and again, if you don't go front to back, day by day, if you just like open your binder to a random page to draw on. I'm just trying to get y'all freed up. Okay, let me do these grays, then I'll stop and we'll do the greens. That's all I have left after this. Are all the shades of teal and green. So let me just do these grays real quick, and then I'll stop and I'll show y'all a couple sketchbooks or something. We'll just kind of do random. And then we'll do a drawing for Society Idea Collectors out of the bowl. But I want to do a whole binder full of just color swatches, doodles, just something where you can doodle on. Hi, DJ. How you doing? Okay, that one's okay. Let's do some testing. That one's still good. Just want to kind of get through these. That one's still good. That one's getting low. So I'm going to use this one to use this one up. Maybe we'll do with the greens. We'll do smaller squares. Let's see. Maybe I'll do a couple smaller ones. No cat herding required. Yeah, not when we go in the bowl. Okay, so that one's toast. Okay, let's test these last ones out. That one's still good. That one's, it's got a little juice left in it, not much. That one's still good. That one's still good. And that one's still good. All right. So all I have left now are the blue, the teals, and the greens. Okay. And that also shows me that all these in this right there Good. I don't have to think, oh, this one working. I just stocked up on Scotch tape for the cat herding. Okay, if y'all missed it, well, I posted it. Yesterday was it? No, day before yesterday. Well, it was on Monday. Monday when Malibu was up here on the table and she sat on my double-sided Scotch tape and then did a little spin. She did a little spin up here on the table because it was attached to her butt. Then I pulled the tape away and she has some fur on the tape. Well, anyway, I drew for Inktober, my Cats in Calligraphy October or Inktober. I drew that picture with it. I just did it with her tail attached. So we all started saying, well, the title of it was How to Herd a Cat. I posted, it's on Instagram and everywhere. But anyway, how to herd a cat. You put tape on their tail. And I mean, I wouldn't deliberately do it. She did it herself. So anyway, so I did that. And now all the mods are saying, well, that's how we have to herd a cat. We got to buy a lot of Scotch tape. Hey, Artistic Breeze. Anybody else? Thanks for being here. Okay, so let's take a break from doing because all I got left are the greens, but there's quite a few greens here. So we got this many. These are teals, light green, and dark green. So we got those to do. But before we do that, let's just do a little sketchbook chat. Okay. Oh, the other thing I'm probably going to do today is and I just think it would be totally boring, but people are asking me, oh, let me see you deconstruct these. So Zeely had sent us both of these Ruby Charm Art Journal 1 and 2. And what they are different. They have lines, dots for color charts. They have little things to do color swatching. And then they have a full page if you want to color it. Well, what I want to use this for is color swatching, color combinations. And I thought, using design-seeds.com, which there's one in here we did. And then you can use the little circles to put the colors in. And in this case, I did two different mediums. I did the Neocolor 2 water-soluble crayons. And then I also used my Prismacolor. And then I just wrote the names down, but these are the colors on the swatch. Then I took and used those colors on this little bug sample. You're always tape ready, Terry. And so that's what I want to use these for. I want to use these books for color combination ideas using Design Seeds. You don't have to use Design Seeds, but Design Seeds just always has cool color combinations. And you can use Crayolas. You can use, I think I even did a couple of Crayola crayons too. But I did color pencils, Neocolors, and I think I swatched a little bit with some just regular Crayola crayons. So you can, and you don't have to have these books to do that. You can make your own swatches and just throw a little design on. Get one of those inexpensive Creative Haven, or let me just find something as an example here. Any of the inexpensive color books. Here's a good example. You can get all kinds of things like this one's just Glorious Gardens, but that have lots of just patterns and florals. And what you can do is just cut out a section, or just tear a piece out, tear a section out, or and use that as a sample. Like, look at these. All right, I'm going to tear this piece out. And make your own. So if you didn't have a book like this, then take a little piece of floral here. I'm going to tear it all the way around so it looks torn. I like that look. And glue this with a glue stick, or tape it down with a piece of washi tape. Put it in your 3-ring binder, and then use this to practice these color combinations. So I had the little bug here to practice, but you could just use a little piece like this to practice your shading and color combinations. Does that make sense? So I'm thinking that I want to put these in binders, or a binder, I should say. All right, so let's just do a little we'll do some little sketchbook ideas in between. In between swatching, so it doesn't get too boring. We'll start with let's see. Start with my Danny Gregory's. Okay, we'll start with Danny Gregory's, and I'm just going to do a few here and there as we go through the, because I want to do the whole ream of paper. I want to do the whole thing. Have you ever tried any of the Coloring Haven magazines? No, Danny, I really don't buy any of the magazines because I have so many books. I'll never get through all my books, so I don't really buy the magazines. I think that one that I just showed you where I tore this out of, I got it probably at Barnes & Noble for a couple of dollars on clearance, and that's why I bought it, and probably for the purpose of doing something like this, because it's like a lot of patterns, you know. So I'll end up putting that in. And again, if you have your sketchbook, okay, your 3-ring binder, blank sheets, and you want to do this kind of thing, take and just, you can make it, you can put in some, stick. If you want to do some color practice in your binder, then just glue some of these down in here. And you could try multiple combinations. If you want to do a little color studies in your sketchbook. Don't be precious, people. That's the point of this. The point of this 3-ring binder, printer paper is not to be precious. So that can go in there, okay? So now you have your own color combinations. You can do some with blues, reds, yellows, and greens, or whatever colors that design seed pops up that you like, and do some little practice. So anyway, I want to deconstruct these 2 books. I'm going to take my X-Acto knife and a metal ruler and cut these up, punch holes in them, and put them in the binder. I don't know if they'll be in the same binder as this one. I really want this to be a color combination binder rather than just sketchbook, but we'll see. I don't know if I have a binder handy, but we'll see. We'll see what we get done today. Okay, so there's that. Let's just throw that one sheet over there. Put this one somewhere. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start with the Danny Gregory books. This was the first one that I got by Danny Gregory. And I know a lot of y'all have seen these before. But since we're talking sketchbooks, I'm trying to inspire you. And make sure and go watch. Remember, go watch Paula's last video, Journal Artista, where she flips through her recent sketchbooks. And it's just a little everything, guys. It's so awesome. I love her sketchbooks because they're just like hodgepodge. Okay, so y'all make sure and go watch those. Okay, Simone, thank you. Good night. Sleep well. I don't know what Ollie's bargain store is, Artistic Breeze. Yeah, dollar stores, Dollar General, they all have color books anymore. You can find them all over the place, and there's free downloads all over the place. So there's lots of places to buy color books. But my idea for this was not necessarily a color book, but color swatching, color combinations. Okay, for ideas of color combinations. Design-seeds.com has awesome color combinations. Okay. We're talking sketchbooks today. As soon as I show these 3, then I'll get the bowl out. We'll do a giveaway. Let me get the bowl. I keep the bowl keep the big bowl there. We'll do some, because this is a Society of Idea Collectors Day. Okay, so the creative license was the first one that I got by Danny Gregory. If y'all remember Everyday Matters website blog back, this was before Yeah, it was a long time ago when Danny Gregory was doing blogs. I think I've had my blog. Have I had it 15 years? I'm not sure how old my blog is, but I've had my blog forever. I don't ever really post on it unless I need to post a picture of something for you guys to download or something. But I don't really post on it much anymore because I do the YouTube all the time. Dee Dee, Ollie's is like a Tuesday morning. Ah, okay, but far less organized. Okay, faithful. Yeah, I have a Tuesday morning and a Hobby Lobby 3 miles from my house. And I have a Michael's and a Books A Million 5 miles from my house. I don't have a Barnes & Noble in my town. The closest Barnes & Noble is about 20 miles. But my favorite one is up by Denise, which is about an hour and a half. Well, maybe an hour and 15 minutes, depending on traffic. But yeah, my favorite Barnes & Noble. All right. So remember, guys, if y'all want to say anything to me, put it in caps. Okay. So Danny Gregory, he did the Everyday Matters. And what he would do on his blog is he'd post ideas for you to draw. And this was years ago. I don't even remember how old Everyday Matters blog is. But anyway, so then he came out the Creative License, which came out in 2006. So this one came out in 2006. And I do need to be careful because you might have a little bit of nudity in here. I don't think there's much, but, I try to keep my show family friendly. Sometimes art books, you can't help it, but I mean, it doesn't bother me. I'll draw a nude person any day in an art class, drawing setting. But, I try to keep it family friendly here. So if I had craft store that close, I have to move. I know, right, Painty Girl? And so what his idea for this book is drawing all the things that are around you every day. Your breakfast, your clothes, the things in your medicine cabinet or sink, your art supplies, just everything. Drawing everything. And he has you draw it in pen. And of course, you don't have to do that, but the point is that it makes it less precious. Draw with a ballpoint pen or a micro, whatever, And so I'm obviously not going to read you the whole book, but it's all the titles and everything are handwritten. Now I'm sure what they probably did is take his handwriting and turn it into a font. I don't know that he hand wrote every bit of this. They probably just turned his handwriting into a font. But train, about to get off the train. Okay, Louise, thank you. Write down some stories and tell us sometime. You need to write them down. And even do a little sketch. Like I can just see you drawing a little sketch of a passport with a hand coming out like the woman's getting her passport back that you found. Little sketches. Doesn't have to be anything major. But if you did something like this, Louise, where you had a little illustration and your story, I can see that, Louise. Just saying. And anybody can do that. Make you a little zine. Janet's made some awesome zines. I gotta say, Janet actually does write this small. At first, I did not know that. Her zines and her drawings are actually written this small. Let me grab one here. Rabbit trail. Let me see if I can find one real quick. I keep some of hers in a little stack here. I don't know that this is all of them, but Janet's little zines. Look at that handwriting. That's her. That's how small she actually wrote that. And I've read her little zines before, but Janet, this is what I'm talking about with illustration and writing. You can do a little zine like this. You could do a whole page, but you need to write your ideas down. And if you have a sketchbook with a bunch of scribbly paints and markers and stuff in it, you're not going to be afraid to use it. Okay, you won't be afraid to use it. Oh, what did DJ say? I'm talking about the stores. So, and then here's his story. Here's some blind contour drawings where you draw without looking. And all kinds of sketchbooks that he has. And where he goes, yikes, you know, all the different things. He uses the pens. What is drawing exactly? I mean, it's just, what is drawing exactly? Obviously, it's your hand holding a pen and making lines on paper. But how does your hand know how to do that? It's not like golf where your grip is hugely important. People hold pens in all sorts of ways. It's not your pen itself, though different pens do make different sorts of marks. Picasso could draw beautifully with a crayon, a burnt stick, or his finger dipped in paint. The most important part of drawing is seeing. Okay, I won't read the whole thing, but yeah, it's how you see. So he just draws everything. This was another, this exercise back in the, I guess, I don't know how old I was. This was probably in my 20s when I had an art teacher. We moved so much. I took just different like classes and life drawing things here and there wherever we moved. And one of the classes, the teacher piled up, not just one chair. She had a pile of ladder back type chairs and she piled them all up. I don't even know how many there were. And she said, draw the air. Draw the air around the chair. Draw the air around the chair. Don't touch the chair. Draw the air. And that immediately after I did that one exercise, even though it wasn't that great, but after I did that one exercise, I totally understood negative space. If you take something that has a lot of open spaces like this chair, and it does, look, this is not perfectly drawn. Obviously, you can see it's wonky, but draw the air. If you draw the air in the chair, you will understand negative space. So there's just little exercises all through the book. But yeah, this was my first Danny Gregory. Oh, I think it might have been his first art book. Chapter 2, journaling, making creativity a habit. And see, he's about drawing. He's all about drawing every day. Is this interesting to anybody? I don't know. Here's a stack of his journals there. More stacks of just journals. Hey, Dot. Why journal? It's compact and portable, inexpensive, personal, useful, cumulative, familiar, left brain, right brain, a gateway, an art form, a meditation, forgiving, and private or public. So he just writes a little paragraph. Okay, good, Rebecca. Materials, living well through bad drawings. Now see, look, he's drawing everything with pen. Look, none of these are perfect, guys. None of his drawings are drawn with pen because he's trying to get you to see. But I don't have time to draw. Managing time. How well do we know what we know? I think he's doing something here on fishing in Manhattan, Central Park. Anything that has to do with fishing in Central Park, because he lived in New York. I don't know where he lives now, but he used to live in New York. Experiment with your writing. Look at this. Isn't this awesome? And anyway, the reason I pulled this out is because the way that Paula showed her book, although she's not drawing every day and drawing, exactly like this book, but it just kind of reminded me of it. And if you've ever seen any of, and she showed some of her books, Linda Berry. Hang on, let me put this here. I'll get back to this one in a minute. Linda Berry's books. I have syllabus too. I'm not sure I put syllabus. Syllabus is here too, but this is one of Linda Berry's books, What It Is, and Paula just got this one too. I think she's got about, I don't know how many books she's got out, 3, 4. I wanted to show y'all syllabus, but that's not next to this one, so I'm not sure where I put syllabus. Where did I put syllabus? Because it's a smaller book. Ah, here it is. So I'll show you these books too. Okay, but let's go back to Danny Gregory for a minute. So again, trying to inspire you to keep a sketchbook or a 3-ring binder notebook, which is the cheapest way. But, you know, just something. And it depends on what you want to, if you're going to carry it around, if, you know, I have lots of sketchbooks that are smaller to take somewhere. If I want to go somewhere and sketch, if I go to the museum or whatever, if I'll have a smaller sketchbook that I'll take with that. But just around the house or, you know, just a 3-ring binder to me is just like useful. So he draws literally everything, everything. Here's some little thumbnails. Let's do an experiment. I don't remember what this experiment is. Let's see what this experiment is. For 2 or 3 days, stop watching television. Uh-oh. I think he's drawing these off of TV. And I do that too. I like to draw from TV, especially the History Channel when I'm watching ancient places or they're traveling somewhere. Those are awesome to not just sketch, but I write a lot of notes. Like I showed you my discs. Okay, where is it? Hang on, guys. I'm looking. Here we go. Okay, this is a stack of stuff that I've been working on. Here's my discs. Okay, so I was watching this show on discs. Different kinds of discs throughout history. So I started just sketching out discs and writing down just whatever came to me. I didn't I didn't go, oh, that doesn't make sense. I'll never use that. Why am I thinking about that? A pyramid and a disc? Well, what is that? You know, don't do that to yourself. If you're going just to sketch and doodle ideas, you don't censor yourself. Don't say, well, that's stupid. That doesn't make sense. I can't draw that. Just scribble down notes. I just drew a bunch of circles from my template, you know, with a circle template. And then I started making notes while I was watching the show. Anything that came to me while I was watching a show on discs. This is some of the stuff that I got here. Then after I did that, I got to thinking, well, I would like to do a collage piece with discs. Now I have all kinds of notes on there about different discs and stuff. But then I came to my art room and I made a bunch of circles. I painted some, I splattered some, and I knew I wanted a pyramid, a triangle. I should say a triangle, not a pyramid. And I wanted an eye, to pop through. So then what I ended up doing was this one is one I finished. Let me move I finished this one, and rather than try to hold this up to my cat's eye and photograph it, I took one of the photographs that I had of Malibu, and in my iPad, and I laid this down on top of her eyeball on the photograph on the iPad. So it had a light glow through it because it came from the iPad. So there's like a cat eye, and it's glowing. So anyway, then I made this. Then what I wanted to do from this is I want to make clock faces, and have some stars on the corner, the four corners. And I also wanted to be a combination kind of compass type thing. So I'm still working on this idea. But from this, because I don't have a clock to work on right now, I didn't have one. I mean, I guess I could have taken my kitchen clock off the wall, but I didn't. So then what I did is from that is where I got the idea to do my art discs. Now that people are still out there making art, what do they call them? They're calling them art, not art circles. What do they call them? The art ATCs, they're 2.5 inches. The size of an ATC sleeve. These are bigger than that. These are 4 inches across, I think. 3. What's my measuring? Let me get my ruler here. 3.5. So they're 3.5. What do they call them? Coins. Thank you. They call them art coins when they're about 2.5. So I said, well, I'm going to make mine like my big disc that I made, but just so that I can give them away. So that's when I use the spackling to make them look, like this. And there's a show on how I made them, but I hadn't used spackle. My very first stream 8 years ago was with spackle and making ATCs with spackle. That was my very first stream 8 years ago. So I revisited that. But anyway, just to show you how you can take ideas and roll with it. I'm still in love with those. Mark, did I ever send you one? I thought I sent you one, Mark. So anyway, when you write, but you have to write things down. If I hadn't written all those disc ideas down, I wouldn't have done the clock thing. I wouldn't have made the other things. So, but you got to not be afraid just to write anything down. Just write it down. It's just a piece of paper and an idea. And, that's why I keep stacks of Post-it notes, because most of my ideas end up first on a Post-it note, and then they get in a bigger, notebook or sketchbook or whatever. Okay, Mark. Well, Mark, I thought I'd sent you one. Write a note on a Post-it note. Okay. So anyway, back to Danny Gregory. So my point is, guys, is write it down. You've got to write everything down. Let's try to be careful here on drawing the naked people. Here's cities. Trust your gut. Don't fear the weird. Thinking on paper. Let's see what he says here. I haven't read this in years, so. Bye, Terry. Oh, wait, Terry. I've got to give you a send-off. Don't overdo that shoulder. Thanks for being here, Terry. Okay, let's see. Where's my soundboard? All right, let's turn that back up. I turn the volume down on my phone when I'm streaming. Have a good day, Terry. Okay, let's see what he says here on Thinking on Paper. You're welcome. And this writing is pretty small for my eyes. So I'm trying to see it well. It's pretty little. When I read Janet's zines, I have to use a magnifying glass because it's this small. It's so tiny. Janet's. Okay, let's see. My mom taught me to appreciate paper early, to rifle through blank journals and pinch the sheets between my finger pads. I'm not going to read this. It's going to be a little choppy, guys, because it's hard for me to see it. To consider pulp and fiber, to notice how a pen flows smoothly here while it bucks and protests there. Since then, I've met and felt quite intensely about many different papers. Okay, now he's talking about different papers. fibrous kind, the kind that are cheap, the kind that are expensive, silk screens. Okay, this is all different kinds of paper. Okay, it's just all right. When he's talking about thinking on paper, this is all about different types of paper. Mr. Post-it can probably make I still have stacks from Sharon L. I mean, I whittle them down. I whittle the stacks down. I do give quite a bit of them away, but I still, and I don't think she's working at the place where, I don't know if she worked where they made them or something, but anyway, she used to send me lots of stacks of Post-its. And I still have quite a few. So I got enough to last me some years, but I do use them. I tell you, I use my Post-its. Watercolors. And then the next one is Chapter 5, Resistance, winning the fight to go on. So he'll draw everything. And again, I'm trying to be kind of careful because he does have some bodies in here he's drawn. Getting started and other slumps, dry spells and blocks. Judgment, from enemy to ally. So anyway, he's just got all kinds of things. He wants you to draw everything in your life. And he draws with pen. But, if you won't draw with pen, then draw with pencil. But it's a good idea to try it. Try to draw some things with pen. If you've never drawn with just pen, then do it, people. Okay, so that's a creative license. That was his first one. So the next one I have, and I think there's one other one I don't have here, but okay, then an illustrated life. This one is drawing inspiration from the private sketchbook of artists, illustrators, and designers. And Paula mentioned this in her show too. I love looking at sketchbooks of other people. It's one of my favorite kind of books. And I buy them all the time. So does Paula. We both love these kind of books. And again, Paula has to probably work today. I was hoping she could be here because today's show was dedicated to Journal Artista. Okay. So there's Danny Gregory here. This one is from 2008. Okay, so what he did in this one is he compiled photos, a few pages. I don't remember how many from each one. 3 or 4 pages, 4 or 5 pages from each artist. And there, we counted this before. 50. So 50 different artists and from their sketchbooks. Remember this book? I think I said I'd love to cut it out. Yeah, see, I won't cut these kind of books up because these are my eye candy books. I love eye candy books. Now, if I had 2, well, I wouldn't. I've got 2 of some books, and I just wouldn't cut them up. But anyway, so this is some of his stuff at the beginning, and then he goes into each, and I think he put them in alphabetical order. Mateus is one of the ones that's in the ones that Melody sent me, the Draw From Your Imagination books. And remember, I mentioned him because he's in 1 or 2 of those. And I said, I remember him back from blogging days 15 years ago. And so it's one of the ones that Danny puts in his book too. This artist here, he's also in that Imagination books. What's the name of this one again? An Illustrated Life, drawing inspiration from the private sketchbooks of artists, illustrators, and designers. And so he just compiles them, just different sketchbooks from different artists. And then look, here's some pictures of some of their stacks of sketchbooks. So I'm not going to, I'll just probably just do more of a flip just so you can kind of see. I just want y'all to be aware of the books. Robert Crumb. Y'all remember, Terry's already gone. Julie probably remembers. Do you remember Robert Crumb, Julie? Okay, there's a few. I gotta try to flip because there are going to be naked people drawings of them. Drawings of them. There's um, all kinds of sketches from different artists. I love these kind of books. I love sketchbooks about. I mean, I love books about sketchbooks. I got shelves of them. So I just want y'all to see. They're just sketches. And there's just tons of these types of books out there. If you go on Amazon or Google, just put in books on artist sketchbooks and you'll find tons of them. Or go to Danny or go to this one and then Amazon, or they'll recommend others that are like it. And then this one I got, me and sister woman Jonna, we're going to do this together. I think we did it for about a day, maybe two. I don't know. We both got busy at the same time and we didn't continue on. But this was like a little challenge book. And so we both got this. We both were going to do this at the same time. This one came out in 2015. And when it came out, I think she might have sent it to me and she was going to do it too. And there's just little exercises to do every day. And I think we did one or two, and then something happened. We didn't get any further. But they're just little exercises to do every day, little prompts, if you will. And art before breakfast: a zillion ways to be more creative, no matter how busy you are. Hi, Kenneth. Just want to say be safe driving the trouble showing you. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I don't know that it's going to come up to. I mean, we have rain. We have rain, and it was supposed to thunderstorm later today, but I don't know that it's probably most of it south of us. Okay, thank you. Thank you. You be safe out there too. So there's 3 Danny Gregory books, just for an example. Okay, so now all right. Then we talked about Linda Berry. Here's 2 of them, and this one is called Syllabus, and this was the course that she taught her students, and it's all her handwritten notes and all her drawings. And I got another one by her too somewhere, but anyway, it has. I'm going to show you the difference here. Yellow. Okay, here we go. Yellow legal pad. I couldn't think of the name. The yellow. She did a lot of it on yellow legal pads. I know, aren't they? I love Linda Berry books. I have one of her old comic books too somewhere. It's called Girls and Boys. I don't know. It's just a little small comic book of hers. But anyway, so this one is her biography kind of. And but look at all the little tiny drawings and notes and everything in this book. It's just total eye candy. And Paula's getting this one. I think she has it on. She's picking it up today. Yes, do the monkey on. Yeah, let me see. There's the monkey right there. She has a little monkey icon, but there's probably better ones to. Trying to find one. Might be better to find one in Syllabus. I was going to try to find one of the monkey pictures. I think this is the one that Janet got it out of, but I don't remember. There's so much in here, you really can't see it all in a flip. Not finding the little monkey other than here. But they drew that on Janet's show. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Lynn. If I miss saying hi to Lynn, Catherine, anybody else popping in. So these are other artist sketchbooks. Sketchbooks by, that artists have made. All right, let's see if I can get these back on the shelf. Ugh. And then my daughter sent me, I'll show one more real quick. My daughter sent me, there's a second volume of these out, the street sketchbook, Tristan Manco. And this is all different street artists and graffiti artists sketchbooks and sketches. There's a second one, and I did not buy the second one. I looked at it at the bookstore. I thought this one was better. I mean, I should have could have bought it, but anyway, this is all graffiti and sketchbooks from graffiti artists. And it's just really awesome. And again, there's a second volume, but it's all their sketchbooks. Say sketchbooks from them. Let me show you. Here's another page. See, here's they're different sketchbooks. Where's my sock monkey? Oh, he's in the other room. I have them. Yeah. I have my sock monkey family. They're in the other room, in the kid room. I have them on a chair. Yeah, I don't have room to store them in here. So there's that one. And then the color book, this one, I'll show you one more. And I've shown these. I mean, I could show them all day long, but my idea here is to get y'all inspired for sketchbooks. Okay, let's see. So this one I got at the High Museum. Cam and I, we went to the High Museum and the bookstore. We both spotted this at the same time. There were two left. We both bought one. It's called Outside the Line Street Art Doodle Book, compiled by Dave the Chimp. And it's a color book. It's all in black and white. So anything you see in colors where I've just kind of color doodled in, it's all in black and white. And it's not quite newsprint, but it has that newsprint feel to it. And it's just all different doodles and some photographs. There's a few photos here. And everything that's colored, I just have colored in and doodled in. And this book is just so inspiring, so awesome. There's been times I've been tempted to put this in a binder to play with, but I just like it so much. And so Cam and I both bought one. This was some years ago. Let's see if I have the date. 2012. So we got this in 2012 at the High Museum. I just put the sticker from the day we went to the museum. And it was like $20. I don't know where you can get this on Amazon or where you can get it. But it's just an awesome doodle, sketchbook, color book. It's just like a mashup, right? Did you see the Banksy painting that sold? Yes, I saw them. I saw the thing where they were showing how it was made with the blades in it. Yes, I know. I saw that. Okay, yes, I know. Right. Thanks, Picola. Yeah, I'm obviously not watching any news while I stream. Okay, so there's that. And then, I've got tons of other books like it. But, all right, so we're doing all kinds of just painting and coloring and using up markers. Again, it's all going to just be in a binder to sketch on. And these just happen to be where I'm using up the markers. So I want to do a whole binder full of things to sketch on. This one we just glued in because I wanted to show you how to do something to do color swatching on. Yeah, exactly, Julie. I saw that. All right, so let's pull out a name out of this is everybody that's in the Society of Idea Collectors. unless I've already pulled your name, then I keep that separate. So just that way everybody can get a chance at it. So once I pull your name, then your name is taken out, you know. But there's a lot in here. We have a lot of people in the Society Idea Class. Let me try to flip the whole thing over. There's more in here than it looks. This bowl is pretty deep. So I'm going to pull a name and we'll do a little giveaway here. I just kind of cover it out and dig down the bottom and pull a name. Okay, Miro in Poland. I haven't seen her for a while. I have a couple weeks ago, but Miro in Poland. I'll send you a little art card or something. So Miro, let me do my Society Idea Collector. Let me do a little. So I know what the giveaway was for here. So yay, Miro. I'll do 2 right now. Maybe we'll do some more after a while. I've got room here. Move things off my desk. Oh, all right. Let's pull one more name. Okay, not looking. I'm just digging down the bottom here. All right. Shelby J. Now I haven't seen Shelby J. I don't really even remember who Shelby J is. But if you join the Society Idea Collectors and you tell me what book you do your ideas in, I put your name in here. So Shelby. Okay. So there's 2. Let's put this aside for a minute. Let's go back to, and again, here's where, so you could do little sketches on just little color ovals. Doesn't have to be ovals. You can draw faces on the squares, but you know, it's just, we're trying to use up. All right, so now let me go to the greens. Oh, and I forgot to do this. Today's hump day. Mike. It's hump day, people. All right, so what I'm trying to do with these markers that I have in a rubber band is these are multiple sets that I've had for, I don't know, you know, some are older than others. And what I want to do is I'm trying to weed out the ones that are drying up. And so I'm just trying to use up. So this one's still good. So we can do that. I don't want to do anything too dark. I mean, I'm going to check the ones that are dark, but I don't want to, because unless you draw with white, you're not going to be able to see, you know, if you get much darker than this. And if you ever see the ones, I don't even know if they make them anymore, but the super tips, the super tips that have the black barrel are scented. Okay, so that one's probably not got much in it, but I like to keep it because of the scent. All right, so let's do a few of these. Let's see how many I can get. I'm trying to get 6 on here, and then I'll do some smaller ones. I'll do some smaller little thumbnail things to sketch on. That one doesn't have much in it. I guess I could probably get rid of that one. This one's pretty good. So the idea is to do little sketches in each one of these. And they don't have to stay inside. They don't have to stay inside the lines when you sketch on it. But it's just so that you don't have a blank white paper that you're afraid to draw on. So we've done shows like this one before, but every now and then I just like to get people inspired to go back to, that one's pretty much gone. So I'll put that in the bag. Okay, so let's do some smaller ones. Little thumbnails, so you can just draw tiny. If you wanted to draw a bunch of coffee mugs or art supplies, you know, just something to draw in the little tiny and smaller little thumbnails. Again, the purpose of this 3-ring binder is just to sketch, write ideas down, keep it with you when you're watching TV. That's when I like to do stuff like drawing and this kind of stuff, like my discs, is while I'm watching History Channel or, okay, that one's still good there. So most of these are still working fairly well. All right. Hey, Madonna. Anybody else popping in? Thanks for stopping in. Okay, so we got those. Only got 2 more stacks of colors. I'm making some room up there. Okay, let's do the light greens. I got light green and dark green. Well, you know what? Let me do the dark green first because I'm not going to probably do much squares with these because you can't see if you drew on top of, unless you drew on top of with white. That one can go with that one. Oops, that one's probably dried out. The cap came off. All right, let's see. Let's just see which ones. Let's do a page of just test to see if they're working. That's getting a little low. That's the scented ones. I like the scented ones. Okay, that one's pretty much done. That one's still pretty good. That one's done. That one's still good. Maybe I'll make a space in between to draw something summery in there. So again, guys, this is to inspire you to either start a journal, make a journal, just something to sketch in. And you can just use a regular sketchbook. There's tons of sketchbooks. You don't have to just use, printer paper. The reason I'm doing this, though, is intimidated because a lot of people just do not, they're afraid to make marks in a sketchbook because you paid $10 for it or whatever. So if you use copy paper, you're not afraid. In and out, and then Instagram trying to catch things. Oh, you're welcome, Kitty. I'm glad you're doing it. Yeah. All right. So there's that. Let's do these last light green ones. Then I'll have done all these markers. All right. Let's see. Let's make some small. Okay, this one's dried out, so we'll just go with that. Move that one along. That's good. It's okay. Get these light ones here. That's good. Just testing. You can always go back and make more sheets of these. I'm just trying to kind of sort out my markers here. That's good. That's good. You could draw whatever in each one. And if you like, sometimes I like little squares around my swatches. But I didn't do it on this samples today because I'm trying to show you that you can draw outside the lines. If I put little boxes around it, like if I start putting little boxes around them like I like to do to draw in, then you're going to be afraid to go outside those boxes. Whereas if you just have little squares like this, if you want to draw, leaves or anything like that, you can go, outside the box or area on your own or even DIY on your own. Yeah, and I trust me, I got tons of travelers notebooks too. But most of my travelers notebooks, although I do sketch notes down, like little that one's done. Little little doodles. If I have an idea of something, I'll sketch that down. Most of my travelers are all writing. I don't really draw much in my travelers notebooks. They're mostly for writing, and every different little booklet, if you will. Every booklet has a different topic. Okay, let's just do one more. Okay, so we got the greens all done. So we got them all done now. So let me bind these all into a nice rubber band. Here we go. So I have all these done, all my markers. Let's see. Okay, there we go. That should be a hashtag outside the box. Hey, Catherine, Kitty. I'm sure I'm missing some. Karen Bot, Wendy. Thanks everybody for stopping in. Okay. Let's see what time is it. Okay, we got a little bit more time. All right, so again, we did quite a few already, but I want to do a whole notebook full. But I'm going to stop on this for a minute, and I think I might, because I keep getting requests for it, show you how I'm going to deconstruct these. So I need to first get my cutting mat. Here's the side that's really used. We'll use this side. And what I'm going to do is I want to cut it apart, cut the books apart, and I told everybody, I said, this is going to be very boring. I hope my blades are sharp enough. I don't know. I have to go dig around for some new blades. We'll see. Or maybe I can use, where's my bigger one here? Use this one. We'll see. And if you're going to take a book apart, you want to use a metal ruler. Don't use a plastic ruler as an edge, because trust me, I know. You do not want to use a plastic edge to cut. I know these are sharp. See, I usually use an X-Acto knife, but I know this blade's not sharp. It's not sharp enough to do 2 books. Whereas if I use my, we used to use these for wallpaper cutting. I guess they're box cutters. I don't know. But anyway, so if this blade gets dull, I can just snap it off and go to the next one. So, I'm gonna go roll with this today. But you want a metal ruler. Okay. So I'll start in the back. Well, let's see. I guess let's see here. It's going to depend. Some books are easier to, let's just test on the inside here. So you really want to break the spine, because you try to get in as deep as you can. So I'm going to just kind of really bend this. And sometimes you have to do it in 2 or 3 spots. So you really want to break the spine so that you can cut in there as far as you can. So I'm going to do that. I got to hold it up. So I'm doing this, but I'm doing it close to my body here. I can't really do that under camera. So I'm just going to different places in the book and doing that. All right, so I think I'll start somewhere right in here, maybe a little further back. And you really want to take your time and mash it down good and open it up. Metal ruler with cardboard on the opposite. Well, mine has cork. Mine's got cork on it. So, yeah. All right. Sometimes you can tear the pages out, but usually when you start tearing them, they start getting wonky, I may not even need the ruler at first. Let's see what I can do here. I want to just get right in there. It just depends on the book. See, I already got a little off right there, as you can see, without using the ruler. But what I want to do is I just want to take the book apart, is essentially what I'm trying to do. I'm going to take my time here. Okay. All right, so there's a big section cut off. I'm going to go to another, probably, 6, 8 pages. And I'm just really trying to open it up as best I can. And it just depends on the book if you can get a ruler down deep down in there. I have a pretty steady hand. Okay, now I'm going to end up cutting these down with the paper trimmer to get them nice and even. Okay, so I'm just going to keep side so it does not slide. Yeah, the cork, yeah. And I am keeping my fingers out of the way. And I am on a cutting mat too. So once I get it started, sometimes it takes 2 passes. Now these are still connected, guys, these sections, okay? Right now I'm just getting it broken down into sections. And see, here's the cover right there. Okay, there's the cover right there. Or the spine, I should say. Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do, get my paper cutter. Bam! And I'm going to take the sections here. And depending on how many, some of them will just pull right apart here like that. But all I want to do now, and I want to try to keep them in order. So let's start from the back. That way I can go over here and flip them over to the side. They're numbered, but, it's just a lot easier if you don't have to. Okay, this one's got at least a double thickness here. I'm going to have to go back to this and cut this one in half. This one was pretty thick. Okay, so let's cut this one down. All right. I'm going to take the cover off and just trim that one down. Or maybe, all right, they got 2 or 3 pages glued together there. It still might be too thick for me to trim with this paper cutter. Maybe I can get it, turn it the other way too. This has got the spine attached to it. Okay. Hang on. Let's get that spine off there. It's got 2 or 3 pages glued together at the spine. I mean at the back. So let me just cut that. And every book's going to be a little different. Some pages are going to be glued different at the back or the front. And you just got to kind of work with it. Okay. Told you all this was going to be boring, but everybody goes, oh, I want to see you do it. I want to see you do it. Okay. All right. So there's this is the back. Okay. Now let's go to the next section. I'm really essentially trimming off the glue. And sometimes it's thick and I got to turn it upside down the other way. Okay. And so now they're all separated. See, they're all separated. Oh, I missed a spot there. Okay. And because it's still glued together, your pages are like, you know, they're all stuck. And I'm just trimming off the very, very edge. And sometimes you got to turn it upside down to get the other edge, you know, depending on how much you have in there and how strong your paper cutter is. Okay. So I'm just going to go through the whole book, section by section. Let's see, which way am I going here? I want to make sure they're going the right way. I'm flipping it. Okay. So cut and flip. Is that right? Yeah, cut and flip. Cut and flip. Okay, this one has a few more pages than can cut at one. So let's turn it over. Okay, cut and flip. Cut and flip. This one's really thick here too. I should probably cut this one in half. Maybe I can tear it in half. You can't do more than about, I don't know, 6 pages, 8 pages. We still with the tour, guys? Okay. Got a little bit of extra binding there. A little extra backing on that one. Okay, cut and flip. And here's the cover. Okay. Alrighty. So, this book is done. I got a little edge right here on the back spine. Let me trim that off. There we go. All right. Now, the trick to making it nice and even when you put it in your book, because I can see there's a couple places where it's not perfectly cut right there, which I can still trim this down. But when you go to when you punch the holes, now I have a screw punch. It does, this side's not going to matter. The side that's got the holes in it, you want the edge right here to be the neatest edge. Now, I can spend a little more time trimming, like this section right here could use a little bit more trim. Because it's going to be the part that's in the binder. This side over here is the side that's going to be in the binder. So it's not the neat side you have to worry about. So what you want to do, and it depends, if you have to hole punch this with a hand punch, you're going to be here a while. Just saying. So I have a couple of different screw punches like this. Now I lost, it's around here somewhere, one of the And let me empty this out because I think it's full. These are the quickest ways to punch holes multiple pages. Even though I have one missing, I usually, just to make sure that I do it neatly, I just usually do one at a time. And I have another one that has one hole, but all right, let me get a piece of paper here. First, it has the holes in it. Dee, how often do you have to replace the blade on the big cutter? This, I've never replaced them. I have two, and I've had them for years. I've never replaced them. I don't know even how much they were. I got these, well, I think my daughter got me one, and I got the other one at Staples. They weren't more than 20 bucks, and I probably had a coupon, got them on sale. So I'm sure the blade is probably, just buy a new one. If you have to replace the blade on it, it's probably not any more, much more difference in just getting a new cutter. These are not expensive. These cutters are not expensive. So what I'm going to do now is I'll take about half of it. So I'm going to take about half the book at a time. And I'm making sure I can always go back and trim this edge, any of this edge. This is not going to matter, okay? I want to make sure the front is just as neat as the book. Okay, I'm flashing out there. Why am I doing that? Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is put this on top, and it's probably, I'm going to say, it's probably going to, like this one, it's not going to do it too. Like there's a border here, and it's going to depend on the book that if you want to deconstruct a book. But like this will be fine to punch holes. Some pages you might end up punching into the design. Like here, you're going to punch holes into that design. So if that's going to bother you, then you probably don't want to do this. It doesn't bother me if some of the designs have holes. Okay, so this page is just a little bigger than the book. So what I'm going to do is take me, probably since it's a black cover, I'll take my white Posca, and where the holes are going to punch. Let me move this off the table for a minute. And I'm just going to use the middle one here. So I've got about half the book here. And you really kind of want to take your time with this, because I've messed it up, and then I have to go back and like make a second hole because it doesn't fit in the binder because I've not done it neatly enough. And then you just, until you feel it click, and you've punched through all that just like that. Okay. And go to the middle. I could do all three at a time if I had this one, but I just go ahead and use the middle one. And if you really want to make sure you're not having them shift, you really want to clamp them together with some bull clips. I just really hold it kind of tight. Okay, now let's go to the next one. So now I have them all punched. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cover, set this aside, and I'll go to the other half here. I'll use the cover as a template. For this other half of the book. And you can feel it snap through. I'm holding it really tight so the pages don't shift. And I got this one at when my local scrapbook store was closing. They sold everything real cheap. These are normally about, I don't know, $40, I think, with all three of them. And I think I paid $20 for it from when the scrapbook store was closing down. Okay, so now let me take the cover off of this. Here's the back, front. Wait, do I have this going the right way? Wait a minute. Do I have this going the right way? No. I think I've got this going the wrong way. Wait a minute. Did I punch them on the wrong side? No, I didn't. Did I? No, that's right. Wait, what's going on? What did I do? Did I punch them on the wrong side? I might have. Let's see. No, yep, I did. I did punch them on the wrong side, guys. Did I? 71? No. I got them out of order somehow. There's the back. Okay, hang on. I got some of the pages. That's right, because it's on the back. So that's the right way. What did I do? I think, this goes like, what did I do? This goes this way. I just got the pages out of order. Let's see. Maybe I did punch them on the wrong side. Or did I just punch the cover on the wrong side? Because I think that goes like that. Okay, I'm going to have to go through because I think I got them all out of order. I don't know if I punched the wrong side or not, but I know I punched the wrong side on the back cover. On the back cover, I'll have to repunch that. It doesn't really matter because they're going to be in a binder. I don't care if the cover is punched on the wrong side because the other ones are punched on the right side. It's just the back cover. The back cover I punched on the wrong side. The back cover. But again, I don't care if that's because it's all going in a binder. So even if this is punched on the wrong side, I'll repunch it and then that goes in the binder. So it goes in the binder like that. But with the back cover on the wrong side. What do you call this machine? It's a screw punch. This is a screw punch. It's a McGill adjustable paper drill. But it screws down. See how it works there? And you can make this really, look how thick you can put it in there. You can put in about almost 3/4 of an inch of paper in there. I don't usually do that many at a time because if you do them real thick, you really want to have it bound. You want to have clamps. If you try to do a big, thick book all at one time, then it's going to shift. There's been times where I've done this and half the book, see how these are nice and deep in, but I've done it where it's shifted and the whole comes over here. So you probably want to do about a half a book at a time. So yeah. So there's the first one. And that's all there is to it, really. Just cutting it out and punching holes. Now, there's been times where I've had to punch holes just with the hand punch. And, you only can do like 3 pieces of paper at a time. And, so that's like 3, 1, 2, 3 for 3 pieces of paper. And, so you're doing hours of punching. So it does take a long time. There's also ones that you can get, guys. Here's what I would recommend if you wanted one of these. They have the one that's 1. It's just a 1 this big. It's about this big. And I have one of those around here somewhere. I don't know where it is at the moment. And I just lost one of my tops here. And it's probably in my tool thing, my tool cabinet. This just came unscrewed and it's probably sitting in my tool cabinet. And these are adjustable. You can, I'll move this one because just so you can see. These are adjustable. So you can move this to how deep you want. Like if you want to punch all 3 at a time, right? So you just set it by the measurements here. You just set it and tighten that. And then again, you'd have one of these on top. And then you can put 3 pieces of paper in. Put a piece of paper in like this and just do 1, 2, 3. Do them all at once. Okay, so you can do that. But you can buy, I would recommend, if you don't use it a lot or just going to, do something like this every now and then, just get the one. Just get the one punch. It's just this big. It's probably retail, probably about $20. I don't know. This one, like I said, I'm talking 10 years ago, was $40 and I got it for $20. Ooh. Yeah, the Japanese screw punching where you snap it and punch. Yeah, that's a lot of trouble. I'd rather just get out my hole punch before I did that, right? Okay, so we've been here like 3 hours, guys. Is there any questions or anything? Did y'all get some ideas we'll do one more drawing here. Did you get some ideas for sketching in little squares and colors you can either use markers, inks. Wait. I do want to show you one more thing. Okay, let's do, here, we'll do orange. If you have your acrylic paints, I forgot to show you to do the same thing with acrylic paints. I'll just take it out of the lid here. You can do the same thing. We did watercolors, but here's the thing about doing some, and I'm going to go through all my paints too. I won't do that. I won't bore you to death with that, but I'm going to go through all my acrylic paint jars, and because some of them are running low. And while you're doing that, if you have a lot of acrylic paints like this, let's do a little bigger. And you want to see, do you need to get some new ones? Are you running low? Make a list while you're doing this. While you're making your squares of color, when you come across one color that you're running low on, write it down so the next time they go on sale, 30% off or whatever, you'll have a list ready. You'll have a list of your colors ready. Let me just shake it down and shake it up again and get some more in the lid. So that when you go to the store to get some new ones, I'm going to do this and I'll show you. I'll draw something on here with a pencil, color pencil. So the thing about once it's dry, obviously, it's like when we're doing our color books, guys. When we're doing acrylic paint in our washes in our color book, color pencil sticks nicely to acrylic paint when it's dry. I may not need to say that, but as sure as I don't say, make sure it's dry, somebody will try to color pencil on top of wet paint and they'll email me. Oh, you're welcome, Noodle. They'll email me and say, I ruined my pencil. Did you let the paint dry? No, you didn't tell me to let the paint dry. You should have told me. Why didn't you tell me that you had to let the paint dry? I'm telling you, people, it's true. And don't use Copics on top of acrylic paint. That will ruin your Copic nibs. Okay. So if you have a whole 3-ring binder, 300, 500, just, sometimes when you don't feel like, I don't have any inspiration. I don't feel like drawing today. Usually what I do is clean. I clean something in my studio, organize, go through the markers, go through the paint, something, or go through pencils and clean them out. That if I don't, just I don't feel like drawing right now. But, I want to do something creative or inspiring, which most of the time I'm too busy to think that way, but sometimes. And I know, right, Donna? If you don't know, cut a book up and put it in a binder, do some swatching like this. Let me dry this. Pick up your binder that you've made. And before the next show, let's see. I don't know that I'm going to stream on Friday. I've just got some things going on. I don't know. And he might have already left for the. Let me see. Oh, he might have already gone. No, I think he's still here. I'm going to try to finish this. I'm going to try to finish all. I don't know how many sheets of paper I have. I have that many. That's in this particular 3-ring binder. I want to try to do this on all the sheets. But when you do paint swatches, you need to let it dry before you either put them in a binder or draw on top of them. And the same thing for those swatches that I did. They're already dry and I put them in the stack. But here's a stack we did today, just, in a couple hours. Some have splatters on them. If you ink splatter, which I like to ink splatter, whether it's black ink or a color, it makes it more, gives it more oomph, and you can, feel even more creative on them. But, just do a whole stack of papers like this. And then again, I think one of the tricks to using a book like this is don't start at the front. Like, don't open your notebook and go, okay, page 1 is orange squares. What am I going to do in orange squares? Don't do that. Just flip through and find something. You find something that inspires you. Oh, okay, I want to do some faces. So, I'm going to do some faces here. And it's in the middle of the book. For one thing, if it's in a binder, you can always move them around, right? So if it's in a binder, it's not going to matter if it's in a binder. You can shift things around. But what I'm saying is don't start at the beginning. Put a bunch of pile of papers of all kinds of stuff that you can just doodle on, sketch on. If you're watching TV, you're watching whatever, just do some little doodles in it and just open it up to somewhere. It doesn't have to be page 1, page 2. Now, if you do a whole bunch of sketches and you like it, or you make notes like I did all the discs, you can date it, and it can still be in the middle of the book with a different date from doing this, right? Now, let me see here. If you feel like doing pumpkins and fall leaves, you can just, my point is here, I'm not doing any lines around, not doing any squares. Is that way if you want to sketch something outside of the lines. I don't know why we're flashing out really bad. Yeah. You can sketch outside of the squares is what I'm trying to say. No, we got a little light there. All that white paper. Hi, Katrina. So do a whole bunch. I'm probably going to do about 300, but you do however many you feel like, and you can do a stack at a time, do a few at a time, just but that way, if you want to take any notes, if you're watching TV, you want to doodle, you'll have a binder full of just messy pages that you can glue things in, draw things, and just whatever you do what you do. But you'll have a bunch of pages to work on. Okay, so I'm going to finish some of that today. I'm going to put take this book apart, and then I'll put them together in one binder. And these will be my color, what do you call it? Design seed color combination notebook. And I might end up combining this with something else. I don't know. All right, let's pick another name out of the bowl. And you don't have to be here to do the Society of Idea class. Some of these people I probably haven't seen in months. I guess that's not somebody's name right there. All right, let me dig down here. All righty, let's pick one of these. Jude Young. I don't know who Jude Young is, but the thing about to be in the Society of Idea Collectors, I have to have your address before I put your name in the bowl. So I will have her address. I haven't seen her for, not sure who she is, to tell you the truth. But, whoops, I'm going to do it on the back side because it's sticky side here. So, yeah, Society Idea Collectors, because I keep those names separate. These are the Society of Idea Collectors. I keep their names separate from everybody else's name. This is everybody else's name, and the Society Idea Collectors are in a separate thing. Okay, so I guess that's Janet, as a matter of fact, you're having Happy Mail because you're a mod. It's coming to you. Sending it out today, as a matter of fact. Okay, so I'll leave this here because I need to cut. Oh, Mom's messaging. Okay, she's just asking about the weather. So, yeah. What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else before we go. Anybody have any questions or anything? I'm looking around, seeing what else. That I wanted to talk about, but I think I covered everything. Jude must be. Or Anya. Oh yeah, y'all might. Yeah, two people with the last name Young. Is Joyce streaming today, or are you streaming today, Janet? At 1. Good to see you, Lynn. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, I just thought we would do the Society of Idea Collectors. This is number 41, Pacola said. And anybody that's in the path of the storm, y'all take care. I don't know. That's what I'm asking, Janet. I don't know. So at 1, yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. And Faithful, I don't watch her live, but Faithful Mess has been doing a show, I think every weeknight, right, Faithful? She's been streaming her Inktober's and other things at night. You're welcome. Thanks, stars. Thanks, guys. You're catching up on Inktober, Janet? Okay. Yeah, I've still got to do my Inktober for today, too. All right, guys. Y'all have a great day. Stay safe if you're in this path of the storm, and especially you, Pacola. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.